Hello everyone, Mr. Stevens here with a video on using the calculator in trigonometry. This is going to be an introduction to the next couple of lessons where we're going to be using trigonometry to find unknown sides and angles from triangles. But right now we need to be comfortable with the operations we're going to need to do on our calculator when we need to solve these problems. So there's basically two things we're going to be doing. Calculate the value of a trigonometric ratio using the calculator. So what that means is if I have sine 30, what does that equal? And the second one here is find the value of theta in a given trigonometric ratio using the calculator. So what that means is if we have cos theta equals, I don't know, 4 over 5. We use that to find out what theta is. Those are our two basic operations. Let's jump into it. One of the things we need to be comfortable with before we can use trigonometry is this idea of degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we're all pretty comfortable with the fact that there are 360 degrees in a revolution. But what we have here with minutes and seconds is a way of just being a bit more precise with our angles. Instead of saying this angle is 27 degrees, we might say it's 27 degrees, 8 minutes and 34 seconds. It's a way of turning a decimal like this into something specifically related to degrees. And your calculator has a button that will input this for you. It is in the buttons at the top on the left. It looks like this. There's a circle, and then there's a single apostrophe, and then there's a double apostrophe. And that stands for degrees, minutes, seconds. Some brands of calculator, the button actually looks like that, DMS. And you can be asked to either input an angle like that. So instead of having sine 30, you might also have 45 minutes, 20 seconds. Or you might be asked to give your answer, theta equals some angle in degrees, minutes, and seconds. All right, let's move on to actually doing the calculations. So the thing about these trigonometric ratios, trigonometric functions, is that when we put this into our calculator, sine 60, the answer is actually just a number. If you type this into your calculator right now, make sure your calculator is in degrees mode. If you're unsure how to do that, come and ask me and I'll show you. If you put this into your calculator, you get this number. And we're asked to answer to 2 decimal places, so we'll round it off. And that's it. That's the answer. And I want you to become really comfortable with this idea that cos of an angle, tan of an angle, sine of an angle, it's just a number. And that means we can work with it like a number. So I'll get you to pause here and just do the next 3 on your own. Put them in your calculator. Be careful on this one. You'll have to use the degrees, minutes, seconds button. Now just be aware that when you put it in your calculator, it's going to look like this, and it has the degrees symbol on both of them. That's just because the display for the numbers that you're inputting can't do the apostrophe, but it is correct for it to be like that. So yeah, when you come back, I'll have the answers here for you. All right, and now the first 7 questions of this exercise are for you to practice doing that. And then there's more to this video, so after you've finished those exercises, come back to the video and we'll go on with some new notes. I don't mind if you do all the notes together if you just keep watching, but these questions here specifically relate to what we just looked at up there. Alright, the next thing we need to know how to do is to find a angle when we're given the value of the ratio. So in this case we have sine theta equals 0.6123, and we are trying to find out the value of theta. I want you guys to think back to when you're doing some algebra. You have something like this, 2 times y equals 6. How do we find out what just y by itself is? Well, we need to undo this times 2, do the opposite of what times 2 is, and divide by 2. So we need the same thing over here. We need to do the opposite of sine so we can get rid of this sine and just have theta. And we actually have functions on our calculator that will do this for us. We have a button on our calculator that does sine to the minus 1, often called sine inverse. If you do sine inverse of sine theta, you just get theta. So this cancels each other out. But if we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side as well. So we have to do sine minus 1, 0.6123. Now the way you do this on your calculator is you just press shift before you press sine. And then just like in those first few examples, we just write exactly this into our calculator. Inverse sine 0.6123. Just put that into your calculator and you'll get out an answer. It'll say 37.75, something like that. We're asked to answer to the nearest degree. So the other cool thing that your calculator can do to help you here is it will convert that answer for you automatically into degrees if you now press the degrees, minutes, seconds button. And then once you've done that, your answer will look like this. And you're asked to answer to the nearest degree, so we're going to round off here. Now, this is another important thing. Because there are only 60 minutes in a degree, the halfway point for minutes is actually 30. So if it's 30 or above, we round up. And because in this case we are over 30, we're going to round up to 38 degrees. All right, you can have a go at the second example without me if you'd like. I'm about to go through it now though. The same process, we've got tan theta equals 1.45. We're going to say theta equals tan to the minus 1 of 1.45. We're going to put that into our calculator, press the degrees, minutes, seconds button, and we end up with this as our answer. 55 degrees, 24 minutes, 27.76 seconds. And we're asked to answer to the nearest minute now, so we're rounding off here. Now this number is below 30, so our number is staying the same. Sorry, that's a 4. 55 degrees, 24 minutes. You may also have something looking like this. Instead of having a decimal, you'll have a fraction. The thing with this is it works exactly the same way. Sine theta equals 4/5. So theta equals sine inverse sine minus 1, 4/5. And again, you just put exactly that into your calculator and you get the answer. We're going to round off to the nearest degree again. And that's 53. Last one now. Don't be confused by that root 2 on the bottom of the fraction. We still do the exact same process. We do the inverse and the fraction, put it in your calculator, and you actually get exactly 45 degrees for that one. All right, now you can finish off that exercise 4D. All these questions now will relate to what we just did there. Thanks, guys.